Hello, hello. You guys, I'm so sorry. You know what? I forgot to push go live. Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Um, okay, I guess you guys can't hear me now, right? Hello, can you guys hear me? I forgot to push go live. Can you believe that? 9 minutes. 9 minutes I sat here talking to myself, which is not unusual because I have talked to myself before. But for 9 minutes, I've sat here talking to myself. I didn't. It seemed like you all got along just fine without me. That being the case, I guess I can put my pajamas back on and get into bed, right? You all were just chatting with each other. Hi, so and so. Hi, so and so. And I'm like, hello, hello, hello. Can I have some thumbs up? Can you all hear me? And nobody said anything. And then I just looked up in the corner and realized I forgot to push, um, to start the live stream. So I think this channel does actually better without me than with me, which is kind of hurtful, but yet expected. Oh boy. So I guess it's going to be one of those days, right? So I was saying good morning to a lot of you guys. No wonder the live chat wasn't working. I couldn't get the live chat to work. But anyway, I'm here now. We're all here. That is embarrassing. So let's do this again. Good morning, Miss S. Good morning, Dina TCC, Sonia Johnson. Worldwide birthday celebration. Good morning, Rachel Windley. Good morning, Church Nellie. Good morning, Lydia Johns, Washington. Good morning, Joan Commonwealther. Good morning. Let's see. I cannot believe you all carried on for like 9 minutes without me and nobody said anything. But so, would you like to know what you missed? I made a huge confession while the broadcast was stuck in limbo. I'm just kidding. I didn't say anything. But yeah. So anyway, let's get this started with our thoughts and prayers and condolences. You guys, there was a horrific storm in the Midwest. It seemed like it's been a week, but I think it hasn't even been 48 hours, has it? Is that right? So I think we should start off by sending all of our prayers and positive energy to the people of the Midwest, the possibly 100 people that were lost in this. I guess they said it was up to 20, 26 tornadoes that touched down. This has been like the biggest tornado season that they've had in 130 years, I believe is the statistic. So um, that's where my thoughts have been for the past day. And, it makes you feel kind of helpless. And in particular, the people who were at the Amazon warehouse trying to ensure everybody has a timely Christmas. They were working hard overnight trying to get gifts out to people. The folks at the candle factory collapsed. They were trying to get product out for Christmas, and it's a very important part of our society because it's part of what keeps our economy afloat. So, those folks are heroes not only because they had to possibly survive this tragedy, but also because they're helping save Christmas. So it's a shame that happened for so many reasons. But so our thoughts go out to them. Our prayers are going out to them. We're going to send them as much love, and do make sure you go to one of the reputable news agencies if you're looking for a way to donate. I'm not going to add any links myself, but ABC, NBC, CBS, go to those sources to make sure that you can find those links to donate for that, if that's what you choose to do. But yeah, so, and right before Christmas, right? So good morning, Deborah. Deborah is on a train right now. Um, Good friend of mine. She's on the train and she's steaming across the country as we speak. And Connie is in one of my favorite places. Connie Balmer is in Switzerland. Everybody just drools over the idea of living in Switzerland. Good morning, Dabby Dragon. Church Nelly, yes. I know you probably, that elixir that you sent me, maybe that's the reason why I sat here for 9 minutes with my eyes wide open, not even taking time to blink, let alone start the podcast. That's embarrassing. I can't believe I sat here for 9 minutes with my bottom lip hanging, eyes wide open, teetering back and forth in the chair from that elixir from Church Nelly, and no podcast. The bad thing is that would happen even without Church Nelly's magic elixir. So, good morning, Joyce Bolt. The cash for honors, that seems to just keep going, doesn't it? It turns out Prince Charles sent one of those carriage clocks and the thank you note to, what is his name, Barack Masood or whatever the guy's name is. The one Prince Harry measured up and said, okay, no thanks. We won't do any more business with you, right? They tried to throw Harry under the bus. What is it about that family that they just keep trying to find some kind of way to undermine the person who's actually the smartest person from that family, Prince Harry? I love the idea that they had him pegged as being, kind of not altogether there, when it turns out he's the sharpest tool in the shed. It's the rest of them that trip over themselves trying to figure out some kind of way to bring him down. Amen. They're always trying to bring him down. So what I mentioned before was that I have a bit of a connection to the Dumfries House. I mentioned this before, and the Dumfries House, there you are. Look at that handsome guy right there. Look at him. Boy, is he handsome, right? I said, boy, he's handsome, right? Okay, let's see. Yeah, I'm waiting for someone to agree how handsome this young man is here. Anybody? Somebody? Yes? No? Right? Okay, I got one right from Maddie. I roll from Carolyn. Thank you, Elaine Parker. Finally, Donald Black, thank you. Hello, good looking. Yes. And look at me with that flat hat on my head, looking like just your typical English country squire on my broad and lofty estate, right? So this is the Dumfries House. This is that grade 1 listed manor house that Prince Charles was. Now, I believe the cash for honors, they were raising money for the maintenance and reconstruction of this house, right? Yes, Pamela, I do look so British. Absolutely. I mean, you would easily confuse me for some country aristocrat. Um, NM, very handsome. Yes, thank you. Baron, I'm actually seeing 3 of you right now. Yes, very, very. Thank you so much, you guys. Well, I tell you, getting a compliment around here is like pulling teeth. But so there I am in front of that grade 1 listed manor house in Cumnock, Scotland. So full disclosure, the people of the community, they have nothing but praise for Prince Charles. And this is Scotland now, but they have nothing but praise for the way Prince Charles managed to raise money, reconstruct the house, and even create jobs in the community. So I have no criticism about that. But I think where the issue comes with the cash for honors is that allegedly that Michael Fawcett, Michael, I have never found a sandwich I didn't like Fawcett. He's been eating well thanks to Prince Charles. Michael Fawcett, thank you, Cookies and Cream. Michael Fawcett was the one in charge of the cash for honors. And if you don't know, this Masood guy, he wanted his British citizenship. He wanted a CBE. Well, he gave $1.5 million. Now, I'm not sure if all of that money or any of that money went toward the Dumfries House, but it's an interesting story about this house. Please look for the documentary Dumfries House because there's like two really good documentaries about how they saved this house. So I have an emotional connection to it. And believe me when I say this, and this is coded language, deliberately so, I was the only, shall we say, American there in this group of tourists. I kind of stuck out like a sore baron. There were all these people who have this hobby of going around to these fine country homes. Cat Daddy really miss as but you all getting messy way too early. Remember last time we waited a little bit before we got messy. You guys are just digging into the trenches and ready to get messy immediately. That'll come later. Good morning, Ronnie Vanna. Yes, devastatingly handsome. I agree. Look at there. I got skin like a baby. Which end of the baby, I'll let you decide, but skin like a baby. So the house is amazing. And I kind of felt like, okay, Prince Charles, I get what you're doing here. But the thing is, allegedly, some of the money came from some pretty dark places, like this cash for honors controversy. Did you hear me say controversy? I told you I could speak English, even though I'm an American. This cash for honors controversy. And so that's my connection to the Dumfries House. And I think it looks like I belong there, right? I just feel like I belong there. I stood next to this china cabinet or bookshelf, whatever it was. It was a beautiful piece of Chippendale furniture. I was so nervous going through that house because Prince Charles does not believe in roped off tours. You're supposed to tour the house as though you live there. Don't sit on the furniture, don't touch anything, but you're supposed to tour the house as though you live there. So, if you guys have any comments about the cash for honors, if you think I've missed anything, please say so in the comments later, or we can chat it out now. But yeah. You visit the ugly house. Rosa Roberts says the ugly house. Well, it's the inside of the house is far more interesting than the outside. Speaking of, I found this thanks to the people on Twitter. Every so often on Twitter, you come across a really cool photo. Look at Prince Harry. Is he rocking those sunglasses or what? Look at him. He's rocking those sunglasses. The Sussexes take the best photos from inside of an automobile compared to anybody else in the family. They seem to take the best photos. But yeah, I found that on Twitter, and I thought I would share it with you. Okay, so the bullying claims. As you guys know, they're still, well, the way they put it, they said it seems as though these claims are going into the deep grass. Now, if I understand that, it sounds as though they are going to just try to bury it and allow time to just kind of let it disappear because they really don't have a case. At first, it was like they said that the Duchess of Sussex was terrorizing everybody at Kensington Palace. And then suddenly, they have come to this conclusion that the Duchess of Sussex only had like maybe two people in her sights. And these people are, they're suffering from PTSD because the Duchess of Sussex, one of the sweetest people anybody has ever known, until she went to Kensington Palace, she was considered a joy to work with. And now all of a sudden, she's supposed to be this raging maniac, incandescent with rage. And we all know who that's actually referring to. It's just no background for that. There's no place in her history where you can find that she has somehow um, terrified people. You don't get that from anybody who worked on Suits. You don't get that from anybody who worked with her anywhere in the past, that she was some type of monster and she had all this kinetic energy and she could just blow any minute. None of that is accurate. It is just not true. But for the sake of, I mean, just think about it. They tried to find everything they could to try to condemn the Duchess of Sussex, and it just was not effective. There was no way that they could bring her down. And so when that didn't work, they decided, well, let's just make up something. And when I say they, I'm speaking of the Mormon Tabernacle Choir, which is code for I don't see any other black people there. Except for there's one person of color in the back of the room who just happens to be a person of color. And of course, he's near the exit because they only just let him in for the photo, allegedly, possibly, and most likely. They only just let him in for the photo. And believe me, after this photo was snapped, he had to get back out there and continue to polish the car in case anybody needed to go anyplace. From what I'm to understand, and I'm not just typecasting, I think he's actually the driver, is what someone told me. But yeah, so this photo, look at their faces. They have "Let's get those Sussexes" written all over their face, don't they? Especially the one, standing behind William. You all know who that is. Oh, he's as slick as hound crap. Uh, you all know who that is. That's Knopf. Yeah, that's Knopf. That's Jason Knopf, the fixer. Friends of Dan Wooten Tootin. That's Jason Knopf. But yeah, so these are the people that our Duchess had to face at Kensington Palace. And I'm not saying, I have no authority to say what happened because I wasn't there, but we could only imagine. Let me look at a couple of comments. What do you guys think about that? Let's see. Hello, Anastasia Isabella. Anastasia is one of the mod squad, along with, let's see, who else does Church Nelly, Lydia Washington, and a couple other people. But yeah, you guys are the only mod squad I've been seeing lately. So I don't know. Maybe the other mod squad gave up on me. Maybe it was that 9 minutes that we sat here in silence. I'm just really puzzled that it took you all 9 minutes to say, "Where's Baron?" Do you guys know how hurtful that is? Let's see. Why don't the British forget about Harry and Meghan? Yeah, that's a good question. If H&M say they jumped 20 feet, the British tabloids and trolls and the British reporters will contest it, which goes on for days. Isn't that the truth? We can't even agree how many bathrooms they have. And Lydia says, "We are a ride or die, Baron." Well, thank you, Lydia. I want to believe that, but I don't know. That 9 minutes of silence where you guys seem to get along just fine without me, I don't know if I'm hurt or not. I don't know. I have to get back to you guys on that one because Um, I don't know if I could ever forgive and move on that you guys sat in silence for 9 minutes, seemingly didn't even notice I wasn't there. That seems to speak to my appeal nowadays. Stuff like that just makes me want to grin and grin and grin and grin. So, okay, cash for honors. Any comments about that? Let's see. Are connected to Jason K via the Bank of Scotland. Yes, I heard that. The Bank of Scotland. I heard that there was that connection. Jason Knopf seems to have found himself surrounded by some very powerful players. I don't know how he found his way where in the position he's in now, but for the fact he worked for the Bank of Scotland and that connection to Dan Wooten Tootin. Pamela Porter, Meghan was really on her own in the environment, and I'm sure there are a lot of us listening who can relate to that situation, Baron. Yeah, yeah, that absolutely. Being the one person of color in a certain group of people, especially when it I guess when there's like this conspiracy to make sure that you don't succeed, that is very hurtful. And even though we like to think of ourselves as being strong and resourceful, sometimes you just have to walk away from it. You just, for your own mental well being, just like Prince Harry said, you have to really consider your mental health and you just have to walk away from it because the Duchess of Sussex says it's not enough to survive, you have to thrive. Running later, viewer report YouTube. They are now taking our groceries. Be aware, Pastor. Throughout the country. Okay. Well, I hope that doesn't happen. Thank you, Church Nelly. You lost the connection for a minute. Well, you're on a train right now, so we understand. Walk away, run. Absolutely, worldwide birthday. One needs to run. Absolutely. The squad is here. Why are people obsessed over the amount of bathrooms? Yeah, because it's especially. I don't know if you guys remember Senator Carol Moseley Braun. She was the senator from Illinois. Carol Moseley Braun was the first Black senator since Reconstruction. And I'm really showing my age that I remember Carol Moseley Braun. But when Carol Moseley Braun became a United States senator, she essentially moved into a good old boys billionaire club. Now, not billionaire, millionaire, as the amount of women in the United States Senate, because before that it was a real sausage party. Before more women arrived at the United States Senate, do you know they didn't even have a ladies' room nearby for the women senators? They had to actually create one because it had been an all boys club for so long. And so when Carol Moseley Braun became United States Senator, um, you guys may remember Rush Limbaugh. Rush Limbaugh, he used to play the Jeffersons theme as a way to humiliate Carol Moseley Braun because realizing that she was at a disadvantage, there were certain people who took care of her, um, in terms of accommodations and everything, because she just didn't have the resources to fit into that lifestyle of a senator. Because most people in Congress, or actually most senators for that matter, those are millionaires. And some of them became millionaires long after they got there. You guys want to get rid of Kate, right? Let me get rid of her. Yeah, I could take a hint. One of my favorite photos is, of course, the strutting Harry. But yeah, so she was in a very tough position, and there were a lot of eyes on her, and she had a rough time of it. So I don't think she won the re-election. They kind of run her out of office, but yeah, she was the first black senator since Reconstruction. What am I looking for here? Hello, Baroness Squatties at work listening. Hey, Patricia Nixon, thanks for letting me be a part of your day. We're all glad to be here for you. Okay. I'm glad for that. Um, so as someone said, we are ride or die for you, Baron. It reminds me of one of my favorite memes. I found this photo. Isn't that the cutest thing you've ever seen? I found this photo and I added the caption myself. Ride or die. I'll put it on the community tab later if you like, but I love that photo. There's another one I made. The caption says, "You picked the wrong chicks to mess with." And I think there was a third. I can't remember what caption I added to it, but this is one of my favorite memes. So let's move on to Jesse Smallette. Jesse Smallette has nothing to do with the Sussexes, of course, but I just thought it would, if you guys wanted to talk about that a little bit. But I think everything that needed to be said about this situation was said by Dave Chappelle. And that was the fact that Jesse Smollett found himself covered in bleach with a little cut on his cheek and everything else because on the coldest night of the year, if you guys are from Chicago, if you're from the Midwest, if you're from anywhere around the Great Lakes, Jesse Smollett, right? Charlotte. That's what Dave Chappelle calls him, Jesse Smollett. If you're from the Midwest, then you know how cold it can get. And so one thing about crime disappears when it's really cold outside. Amen. I mean, if you want to lower the crime statistics, just let the freeze move in on you. That will definitely end crime as we know it. So this assumption, I'm sorry, not assumption, but let's just say it like this. This alleged event that happened to Jesse Smollett, whatever his name is. This happened on the coldest night of the year. And please, in that area, where would you find somebody wearing a MAGA hat? A MAGA hat? You just, you never see MAGA hats in Chicago, ever. That just ain't gonna happen. A MAGA hat in Chicago on the coldest night of the year. So when that happened, I was immediately skeptical. I said, it's this guy really, in my opinion, he needs help. I don't know what he thought the outcome would be, but he needs help because that was just ridiculous. And did you see those action figures that he said? Well, he didn't say it was them, but it turns out it was those two brothers. I mean, those were action figures. Those were not just brothers. Those were like superhero action figures. Those are like Marvel comic figures come to life. So I guess if you have to get caught, I was going to say with your pants down, but I guess that's not helpful. But if you have to get caught in a lie, hey, Charlotte B. Bonsoir. Bonjour. Bonacera. No, I think that's what Italian. Anyway, bonsoir. S'il vous plaît. You know what I'm saying, Charlotte. Mademoiselle Charlotte B. I am so continental, aren't I? But yeah, so Jesse Smollett, Jesse S, he needs help because there's something deeply disturbing, something is terribly wrong with him, and he needs to get some help. So, um, it's embarrassing for him. I'm embarrassed for him. But you know, the unintended law of consequences. What's that? Really? You guys are getting messy way too early. You over the Jesse saga? Me too, Sonia Johnson. And I'm disappointed as well. I am just disappointed. I am just it's just so ridiculous and clumsy, you know? It would if it would make sense if there was something to gain for it, but the unintended law of consequences is the Empire series was very profitable, highly rated, but this has the possibility of either bringing more attention to the series, thus bringing in new viewers, or he can ruin people financially, possibly in the future, just like with, let's say, The Cosby Show. Now, whether or not people think he's guilty or innocent, those people from that show, the other actors were depending on the revenue from the residuals for the rest of their lives. And so any kind of controversy can just wipe out the future income of a lot of people. And so um, what he did could possibly have financially affected the other people on the show. So that's why I'm so disturbed by that, because when you put a cast of people together, you really are kind of just trusting each other that you're going to act accordingly and act on good faith so that the show can earn money for them for the rest of their lives. And even I think their offspring or whatever, they look forward to some money. So yeah, he really messed up with that one. So okay, Nathan Hunt. Are you guys familiar with that name? Nathan Hunt. Nathan Hunt. Nathan Hunt is a soldier who unfortunately took his own life back in 2018 as he was suffering from PTSD. And his family wanted Nathan's name. But this is one of those stories that has kind of, carried on for quite some time. And so Prince Harry, having been stripped of his military titles, is no longer in a position to, I guess, aid or help some of the veterans that he was able to help in the past because, he has been stripped of his military titles. And even though Nathan Hunt's family were very upset about that, and they were like, Prince Harry helps a lot of people. You should not take his titles away. His titles should be restored. Well, apparently, the powers that be, they don't agree with that. And so Prince Harry wrote a beautiful letter to the parents of Nathan Hunt, Derek and Maria, I believe their names are. He wrote a beautiful letter of support to them about, mourning and grief and such. But essentially, his wings have been clipped and he's not able to get involved in a way that he has in the past. And here's a photo of Prince Harry during, I believe that was 2008 or 2009 that they served together. And in the lower right hand corner, that's Nathan Hunt, who unfortunately took his own life. And his parents, have been completely devastated by that. So um, they have been appealing for help. They want more support. And I think for the military families, with the royal family, in terms of military families and the royal family, they felt a strong connection to Prince Harry. And they felt like it's kind of like we felt about the Duchess of Sussex. When we see one of us in that family, it makes us trust them more. It makes us feel better about being represented. And when the Duchess of Sussex left that family, then suddenly that representation was removed. And I don't think, or they care, or they don't get the fact that representation is everything. So in the military community, Prince Harry represents people who have actually served and their families, active service members, veterans. They had that connection with Prince Harry. And so that connection has been severed. And so that's troubling to a lot of people, as well it should be. But Prince Harry mentioned in a letter that he's no longer in that role. So even though, I'm paraphrasing, he wish he could help, but there's if he was in his former role, he would have been able to do more. But he doesn't have that anymore. And so people are using that to slap him down and to try to make him feel guilty for saving the life of, excuse me, his wife and his family. So, again, Prince Harry had to give up a lot of things, including being in a position to be helpful to the Hunt family. So, drink of water 1 second. But yeah, so that's one of the stories that's been going on. But there is it too soon to get messy? There is some military representation. I mean, there's always this guy. I mean, you can always look to this guy to represent the military and their families with all his chocolate medals. If there's ever been a strong and courageous member of the royal family, it's this guy right here. I mean, he looks like, he could take out a whole platoon on his own. Have you noticed that none of his uniforms fit? Not that it matters, but have you noticed that none of his uniforms fit? Everything seems like it was made for someone else. And then when I thought about it, I said to myself, who does he remind me of? Who does Edward of Wessex remind me of? What is it, Count Edward or whatever? Wessex, Prince Edward. You guys do know the Queen has 4 kids, right? Because people always forget about him. Now, I had nicknamed him Uncle Pennywise, and then I realized how rude that was. So I'm not going to call him Uncle Pennywise anymore, but this is Harry's uncle. And this is one of the cosplaying royals that they roll out. So stripping Harry of his titles, it's not like it's a complete loss because look at what they get in return. Uncle Pennywise. But I'm going to tell you, this very robust, heroic, heraldic figure, he reminds me of someone. This guy. That's who he reminds me of. I couldn't put my finger on it. I could not put my finger on it for the longest time, but I said, Mother of Don Knotts. That's who he reminds me of. Yeah, I mean, the resemblance. Although, even though I never thought Don Knotts to be particularly handsome, today I think he is. Gosh, Andy. Gosh, Andy, me and Thelma Lou are going to go to Mount Pilot. I used to do a Don Knotts impersonation. Gosh, Andy. Hey, Andy. Me and Thelma Lou are going to go over to Mount Pilot. We're going to go and have some of that. Oh, yeah, Chinese food. That was his big exotic meal. We're going to have some of that Chinese food over at Mount Pilot. Oh, Edward. How long was Edward in the military? He didn't even make it through training. He dropped out of college, he dropped out of the military, and yet he has a house that has more bathrooms than the Sussexes, more rooms than the Sussexes. I don't know how he earned the money, but this guy, he lives in a very large home. All the Queen's children live in a very large home. Now he lives in a house. The Sussexes were given a servant's cottage, but this robust, rugged man's man of a hero, Prince Edward, who has somehow achieved his status in this oversized coat with all these medals. This guy, he didn't have to move to a servant's cottage. He and his wife, Ford Fiesta, they never had to live in a service cottage. They were doing okay from start to finish. So, um, so much for Harry being one of the Queen's favorites. Harry only fit for the servant's cottage, and this guy gets this huge estate. He and Ford Fiesta. So, once again, huh? Gosh, Andy. Oh boy. So moving on. I think we should. Spotify. They're still talking about Spotify as though the Sussexes need to explain anything. The Sussexes, blah. I'd always mess that up when I say that too fast. The Sussexes always plan to have 2 children. Now, I don't want to lower the mood by saying the reason why it took so long for them to have a second child, but we know what took so long. The Sussexes planned to have 2 children. There was a disruption somewhere along the way. So to have the family unit that they wanted took longer than expected. So when people speak of Spotify, it's very insulting that the same tabloids that caused so much pain and distress and suffering for the Duke and Duchess of Sussex would dare complain as though this is what I don't understand. Why does it bother you with this Spotify deal? Spotify has all kind of planning and networks and lawyers and all kind of advice to say, yes, sign them on. We need them. The truth is, because of their celebrity, I'll just call it what it is, because of their celebrity, it doesn't matter whether or not they produce anything. It really doesn't. Because what are we talking about right now? What is this conversation about at this moment? We are talking about Spotify. Spotify is going to win whether they create content or whether they don't, because of the cachet that comes along with the name the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And even if, for whatever reason, they strip them of their titles, then you no longer have the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. You have Prince Harry and Princess Henry of Wales, who everybody is going to refer to as what? Princess Meghan. This is why it's a problem with stripping them of their titles. If you strip them of their titles, you are not going to have the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. No, they won't have those titles, but you will still have Prince Harry. And where there's a prince, there's a princess. Where there's a prince, there's a princess. Look at the way Harry adores his wife. This is when you know that the relationship is strong. Because if your husband doesn't smile at you ever, then there's something missing. And look at the look on Harry's face. Harry just adores his wife. He doesn't mind letting her have her moment, giving her an opportunity to shine. This is the day that they, was it when they announced the cookbook? Or was this after they announced the cookbook? But anyway, this had to do with, of course, the Hub Kitchen and the cookbook. And look at Harry's face. He's beaming. So when they say Harry gave up so much, oh yeah, he did give up quite a few things, but so has Meghan. When they say Harry is like a fish out of water, he's lost out there in California. Harry is living in bliss as we speak. His life has so much more purpose because he's appreciated. And most importantly, no leaks. No leaks because he doesn't have anybody conspiring against him. He doesn't have that conspiracy going on. So anyway, let me take a look at a couple of comments here. Let me see. Because I don't want you all to think that you all can go another 9 minutes without me. You have no idea how hurt I am by that. Let's see. Okay, I see some Deja, what are you trying to say here? I can't say that but Edward and Andrew have all the titles and did nothing. Yeah. Okay. To be fair, Andrew did go to the Falkland Island War, but how much he served and how much duty. I remember he was a hero. That was I remember the whole Falkland Island War. So at least he does have some service under his belt. He did go to a field of battle, but then he also had some other places he visited, like maybe an island in the Caribbean. But to be fair, he did have some active service. Yeah, they won't add his name to the memorial. The family wanted Harry to help to get the recognition for their son. Exactly. And Harry I guess he's not allowed to be a part of the conversation because he has been stripped of his military titles, which is very, very sad. But you know what? I need to scroll down here because I have been on quite a thing here and I haven't seen that many comments. So I'm going to go all the way down to the last comment. Let's see. Mary Cat, I'm thinking the British royal family doesn't like to do the whole lot of the people don't seem to care, keep fit, and she's lazy. Yeah. Okay. First African American to be elected to the United States Senate since Reconstruction. Yeah, that's Edward Brooke of Massachusetts. Are you sure? I thought it was Carol Moseley Braun, but I'll take your word for it. Thank you, Jessica Foreman. Thank you so much. And Black Queen, boy, you all are showing up and showing out. Thank you so much. Oh, Alice Langdon, thank you. And there's Black Queen. Thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate that. You guys are definitely helping to keep this experience going for everyone. I do appreciate that. And happy Sunday to you both. Well, I tell you, the squad always shows up. Thank you so much. Okay, let me see what else is down here. Yeah, Lydia, boy, I tell you, Lydia always looks out for me. Thank you so much, Lydia. And Church Nellie, I mean to tell you, I think Church Nellie probably keep a little something down in her boot in case somebody messes with me. If we can ever get her out of Harpo's juke joint. Oh boy, let's see. Prince Harry married a hardworking queen who started working since she was 11 years old and still working. That is very true. That's so true, Beverly. And the Duchess of Sussex is proud of her work. Lil Rock, his Falkland time was hyped up. Didn't do that much. Yeah. Yeah, because he was on the ship. He was on the ship. It's not like he was out in battle like Prince Harry. That is so true. But I was trying to be fair, even if it wasn't warranted. Oh, this is the kind of messy I've been looking for. Pierce Morgan's book was a flop. Yep, it sure was. Okay. What else we got here? Broome was the first. The Sussexes were gifted that title by the Queen. So whatever happens, attempts to at rescinding will not help their image. It certainly will not. It certainly will not. And Sylvia Dixon, hello, Siv. I haven't said hi to you yet today. To tell a lot of personal hate. P. Morgan had for the Duchess to cause them to have more problems. Yeah, you know that guy. What was it? 3 years he was on Good Morning Britain for 3 years. Those vicious attacks on morning television in the UK against the Duchess of Sussex. What is you doing? Thank you, Ronnie. I really appreciate that. We go back like cornrows, in case you guys are wondering. Ronnie Vine and I go back like cornrows, but I appreciate your support this morning. It's very kind of you. Um, but yeah, so when they were living in that desolate cottage, Frogmore, when they were living there and those daily attacks, that was gut wrenching. I know you guys felt it just like I did. That was gut wrenching. And of course, just like as usual, when it comes to African American women, oh, her mother's probably going to move in. Remember, they said that? The last thing that Doria was thinking about was moving to the UK. She has a life in California. And what I love about Doria and Meghan, our Duchess of Sussex, what I love about them is that they're very independent of one another. Doria um, lived in California when Meghan was living in Canada. So if Doria wasn't going up to Canada to be with her daughter because she has a life of her own in California, why in the world would people expect or assume that she's moving over to the UK? Because the tabloids wanted to push this narrative that Meghan and her mother were only there to somehow bask in the wealth of the British royal family. You know, that was the narrative. That's what they were trying to say without saying it. I still heard them, by the way, but that's what they were trying to say. They were trying to insinuate that somehow Doria was going to come over and try to join the British royal family. Well, I tell you what, this image right here, this would have been so good for the Windsors. This would have been so good for the Windsors if they would have allowed this to flourish, because that family is just dead in the water without those two people, or should I say the one in the middle and the one on the right. But just imagine if you could have had Doria at some of those events, like, say, the Middletons. Number one, Doria wasn't fazed by anything that was going on over there. She didn't want to be a part of it. If I recall, Doria was supposed to have spend Christmas with the Windsors at the Sandringham, and she politely turned them down. She politely turned them down. She has a life of her own. But that narrative that because she's a person of color, that she only wants to be with the white people and do what the white people are doing, yeah, that's a nice narrative for people who need to or want to hear that. But the truth is, she's comfortable in her own skin, as the Duchess say. My mom's a bit of a hippie. She has dreads and a nose ring, and she didn't change that to attend the royal wedding. The way you see her there, that's the way she went to the wedding. Although she had on that beautiful Oscar de la Renta, if I remember. But other than that, Doria was always just going to be Doria, no matter who the Duchess of Sussex married. So that's what I'll say about that. But, shame on the tabloids for pushing that narrative. Thank you, Rochelle Windley. Thank you very much for the super chats. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And happy Sunday to you. I hope you and your family are well. So, any comments about our Queen Doria? Anybody? Let's see. The royal family never let the in laws mix in with them this way. Yeah, they had to wait until the queen injured her back trying to dig that escape tunnel for Andrew. And then all of a sudden they show up at Westminster Abbey. And boy, I tell you, those Middletons showed up in force, didn't they? Carol was there. She had her little airline trolley, her air hostess trolley selling drinks down the aisles of Westminster Abbey. So Carol was in it, and Carol and all the rest of the clan, they showed up. Look at Carol at the soccer game, the football match. Look at her. Carol is getting her drink on. Now, I'm not saying that's alcohol, but I'm not saying that it is it or it ain't, but that's our Carol. That's our Carol Middleton. That Carol Middleton. Sometimes I really want to say it like Tiger King. Remember how he would say, what was her name? Carol, whatever the Carol is on the Tiger King. I wanted to say it like he did, but that's not polite language. That Carol Middleton, Carol Baskin, that Carol Baskin. If you guys haven't seen Lion King, you are truly missing out. So, what is this? Kate and William are copying Harry and Meghan. Listen to the British tabloids is keeping that. Okay, I can't say that. Although I am in agreement with you, Ty Fletcher. But yeah, they are working hard. They are working hard to cosplay the Sussexes constantly. I don't blame you, Lydia. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't agree with her? The only post I put up of the royal family that day was of Doria. The epitome of she was the epitome of regal that day. Yes, she was. Doria's quiet dignity. That's what I think. She's just very dignified, very, very dignified. And I know she went through a lot with everything that was going on with that family. And my heart just really goes out to her because that had to be very tough, the way they were treating her daughter. And, I'm pretty sure that no matter which direction Meghan would have decided to go, whether to stay in or out, she would have done her best to support her. But like I say, they're very independent of one another, and I think that is super cool. Mother and daughter, formidable women, mother and daughter. But look at poor Harry. Every so often, even though this photo breaks my heart, this lets me know that Harry made the right decision. Harry made the right decision because he looks absolutely miserable. Absolutely miserable. And let's see, you can see Sarah Tongue Ring Tyndall back there gossiping about somebody. And the lady next to Sarah Tongue Ring Tyndall, That's um that's the one that married what was his name? Something Phillips. You know, the one that did the milk commercial. And look at Edward. I don't know who he was making fun of. I'm not saying that he's making some kind of ethnic joke, but he's doing something there. Oh boy. I mean, this is just a photo. I'm sure there's more to it than that, but he's doing something with his eyes. It seems like one of those jokes that his father Philip would have told, right? Yes, Ronnie, that Tiger King. Tiger. You got to add a little twang to it. The Tiger King. That Carol Baskin. She did it. That Carol Baskin. Woo! That Carol Baskin. Of course, he added another word to that. Um, she did it. That Carol Baskin. Yeah, you guys, I'm okay. I'm going to take this picture of Harry off the screen because it really lowers the mood. Yes. Um, Let me see. Let me highlight that one before I lose it. That's a possibility. Not saying that it is. Not saying that it ain't, Myra. But it just seems like it. So not saying that it is, and not saying that it ain't. I'm just saying that it looks like it. That's all. So check the boxes. Yeah, he put a ring on Meghan's finger. And at the engagement interview, Harry told Meghan, do not take that ring off her finger. Thank you, Sylvia. Let's see what else we got here. Windsor, but that was the Middleton family. Yes, the Wisteria sisters. That was the nickname for. They said that William's friends they kind of looked down on those Middleton girls. That's what they say. That's what they say, and we all know they ain't ever wrong. But yeah, they said that they kind of looked down on them and just kind of saw them as pretty much social climbers. So don't know if it's true or not, but it was that Carol Middleton. She did it. That Carol Middleton. Oh boy, I'm like a kid. I'll be saying that the rest of the day. That Carol Middleton. Wow, we got 719 people. Do you know before this, the most people I've ever had in the live chat was 711? That's easy to remember, right? Thank you all for being here. For you guys that just chimed in, thank you so much for joining us here on Royal Sussex. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm 723. Are you kidding me? Thank you so much. And I'm so sorry Tina and Michelle was not on today. Now, I was trying to well, not trying, but eventually if they decide that they are going to shut down their thing except for, special occasions, I was going to try to move into that earlier slot. That's my intention. So right now we're going to do 12 o'clock on Sundays, but eventually we may move it up to 9 a.m. So we'll see how it goes. But truthfully, I hope it never comes to it because just like everybody else, I would rather have Tina and Michelle on Sunday whenever possible, but they have things going on with their families and in their lives. So if they can't be here every Sunday, it's cool. But when they are here, it's an absolute treat. Oh, I said I was going to take this picture down. I am so sorry, you guys. I am so sorry. Let me get this picture off of there. There we go. I like this one too. Excuse me. So with the Spotify, there's always somebody who has a negative comment, a so-called royal reporter who has some type of negative comment, those royal rodents. I mean, you just can never seem to get rid of them. Um, but you know which one I'm talking about, right? And they just want everything. It seems like they want too much at one time. You guys know who I'm talking about, right? And it seems like Harry and I spent a year following Harry around. Um, yeah, so Harry and I got really close. Oh, come on, you guys know who I'm talking about, right? Oh, she's a big pile of it. I can't stand her. Um, this one, this one. Oh, she's so messy. Yeah, you're right, Donna Black. Thank you. Adrian Burrow. Thank you. So my impersonation, how is it? I think it needs some work, but aka mushroom. Oh boy. Look at those eyes. Those eyes just scream shady. Shade. Shady. You don't know how much I would love to be on a panel with her one day. I would love to be on a panel on one of those morning shows and go toe to toe with this piece of work. I would love it. I would love it, love it, love it. They probably would never let me back in the country again. You know how they say strip them of their titles? They would probably strip me of my passport. They would never let me over there again because I have a few words for her. I'd unpack my adjectives. But take a look at that. Look at her. You know, I kept saying to myself, what does she remind me of? What does she remind me of? You got this and you got that. This or that. I don't see much daylight between them, do you? And Meghan and Harry, they just want too many things. They want too many things at one time. Oh, what a repugnant piece of dog poo. I'm just so sick of her. Do you hear me? Sick. She just makes me sick. You know what? I just got lost there. I couldn't remember which was which. Okay, that's the troll doll. That's Angela. Phew. Oh, I got to put down this Church Nelly magic elixir because for a minute there they were running together on me. I couldn't tell one from the other. Mushroom top to chin. One of the squatties mentioned that in the comment. They said you should call her mushroom cap to chin. And you know, she thinks that by doing this that we don't know that that's there. Oh boy. And just notice the lighting, even in that lighting. Now, this right here took a village to get her to look this good. You're welcome for the nose, by the way. To get her to look this good, and this is probably the best she's ever looked, she had to, of course, try to conceal part of her, upper part by putting her hand in front of it. But let me see some of the comments about her. Because surely I'm not the only one that feels a certain way. Prince Harry must not have anything to do with Angela. He must not give her any more interviews to write any book again. Yeah, I think he had one sit down with her. Angela backstabbed Prince Harry because she did not approve of Meghan for him. Obviously. A little bit at a time, intelligent black people. Blacks can't have it all or have what they deserve. You know, it doesn't seem just like with Kamala Harris and the cookware. It's just not meant for I don't care how hard an African American works. It's just not meant for them to have certain things in life. They feel as though it's some affrontment to their sensibilities for someone of African descent to achieve, to have. Like for instance, what's his name? Lewis Hamilton. Now, I'm not going to say he was robbed because I don't know the particulars. I don't get the thing about the safety car, whatever. But they said Lewis Hamilton, who was, I guess he was going to be the best all-time racer for that particular class of racing. But they said Lewis Hamilton was possibly robbed today at the where was that, in Dubai? That's what they said. So, like I said, I don't know the particulars of it, so I don't want to comment any further about that. I guess I have to research like everybody else, but they said Lewis Hamilton was robbed. That's what they said. So, I don't know. I just intend to make sure that I vote for President Duchess of Sussex. I'm going to vote for President Sussex. I know that's not going to happen. But if it makes the derangers go crazy, then I'm going to say it's going to happen. And along with President Meghan, there will, of course, be the first gentleman who just happens to look amazing in a suit. So you notice the last podcast I included HRH because they are HRHs. I included that because that's what they are. And whether or not the derangers are on board with that, they are HRH. And that's all to it. HRH, Meghan, Rachel, Marco, HRH. That's all I know is HRH is there. Never mind, the doll is cuter. Yes, Church Nelly, we know the doll is much more attractive than that troll. She is a troll. She's a troll, and she looks like a troll doll. They're one and the same. There's not much daylight between this and this. Now, mind you, I had to cut and paste that hair to get there, but it fits. It's a perfect fit. Let me see. Kanitha Ash, haven't said hi to you yet today. Let me see. Harry couldn't wait to escape from that place. When I looked at the photo, I thought Harry was saying, I can't wait to get out of this place. Absolutely. Absolutely. Harry so much as said it. He's been saying it since he was a teenager. And he finally found an escape. He found a strong Black woman, a woman of color, a mixed race woman, whatever you want to say. He found his way out. What is that? Baron Sussex Squad is asking us to report the list of hateful channels to Tipsbot Sentinel. Let's do this. I'm so sick of these trolls. Yeah, the hateful channels. I go through like it when I see those thumbnails, right? When I see those thumbnails, it's just unbelievable. And it's not just that they are using parody, they're stirring up hate. They're stirring up hate. They are literally yelling fire in a crowded theater. That's what they're doing. It's not so much that they're just being satirical, they are actually drumming up hate. And it's that kind of hate that caused somebody to run into a pizza shop in Washington, D.C. to free these children that you remember the whole Pizzagate thing with Hillary Clinton. Because there were people repeating the lie over and over again that eventually someone ran into the pizza parlor to try. I'm looking for the children. And then, if I remember, he discharged a round up in the air to free the children. So those things that they're saying, it is the potential. There is the potential of causing harm to the Sussexes or someone close to them. So that's why they're so dangerous what they're doing. That is so disturbing. And just like the rest of you guys, I get that very odd feeling in my stomach when I hear certain things like, oh, she doesn't have any children, or they don't want to show the children's faces. She used a surrogate, all kind of insane things. I mean, that's beyond parody. That's beyond satire. That's just a flat out lie. So yeah, I'm very disturbed by that. It's stuff like that that makes me question whether or not they're actually safe. So yeah, like you said, let's report them. Let's report those things because they are flat out lying on them. So let's see. Oh, where's my list? But yeah, so looks like I got through everything that I wanted to talk about. So Cash for Honors, the bully claim, and Nathan Hunt, Spotify. Yeah, looks like I made it through the list. So any questions, anyone? Anybody have any questions for me? 749? Come on, Sussex Squad. Come on. Look in there. Look at what God can do. 749. This is a beautiful day. I feel like a winner. You guys are too much. Oh, yes. Yes, I see that, Michael Humphrey. Well, now I think that the pool of potential victims has become smaller, right? And so they're saying that they have interviewed fewer people than initially thought of as victims of the raging Duchess of Sussex running through the palace, knocking over a vase or smashing windows or whatever they said she was doing. Oh, I remember what it was. She sent an email at 5 o'clock in the morning. They were a victim of emails at 5 o'clock in the morning. If they were stressed out in any way, if there was any stress, and this is just my opinion, if there was any possibility that the staff at the Kensington Palace suffered because of the Sussexes, it was because of these people, the two sitting in the middle and that one in the back standing behind him, and probably a few more. The reason why they are suffering is because they were stuck between a ball head and a hard place. That's why. They were stuck between those two. The few people who worked directly with the Sussexes, a staff that, if I recall, they didn't actually choose for themselves. They were appointed to the Sussexes. If they were stressed out in any way, it was because they had to answer to that nincompoop right there in the middle, to that usurper, that oh, let me stop. But yeah, they had to answer to him. How that's stressful because that person behind a very large rose, that's the king of Kensington Palace. He's the highest ranking person at Kensington, thus meaning everybody has to dance to his music. So that's why. That's why. Okay, let me get to a comment or two here. No, they wouldn't last a week in the United States. Yvonne Clark, thank you. Thank you, Yvonne. That's so kind of you. Happy Sunday to you. Thank you so much. But yeah, that staff wouldn't last a week here. She sent me an email at 5 o'clock in the morning. I felt so threatened. Come on, girl. You know, an email at 5 o'clock in the morning. Hey, Gail. I haven't seen you in the comments in a while. I hope you're well. Not just the Sussex squad, some of the Sussex squad supporters. We appreciate you and every squad member who spend their time working, while I just love to support monetarily. Well, you know what? I whatever I get, I'm appreciative. And if you guys are just making comments, believe me, you're doing a lot. I do go to the comments. I'm so far behind in the comments right now, but I do go to the comments because the comments are what makes the community. That's what has helped build this community. That's why Anastasia, that's why Lydia and Church Nelly, Rising Phoenix, and Sherry Ware, that's why they have been invaluable as the mod squad on this channel because as someone advised me early on, they said, get rid of the trolls because they will make they'll ruin the channel because we're looking. It's not that we want to be in an echo chamber, right? But we want to be in a space where we are free to discuss the Sussexes without being attacked. We don't want to be attacked for our love and appreciation of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. You know, we have been with Prince Harry since he was born, most of us, because some of us are of a certain age. Now, I don't want to say how old I am, but I'll just say this much. Whenever I let's say if I'm filling out a form online and I have to scroll through the calendar to get back to my year of birth, you know how it is. Click, 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 click. Oh wow, I'm still in the 1980s. Click, 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 click. Okay, I'm in the mid 70s. Click, 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 click. You know, you got to keep clicking through to get to your year of birth. Now, some of us had to click back a lot further than others. Hey, Rising Phoenix, we're missing you. Yeah, so some of y'all had to click back further, amen, than others. You know, some of you got to click back to the 50s. And even some of y'all got to click, 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 click back to the 40s. But click you have and click you will. So, and don't try to make me feel like I'm the only one that had to do a lot of clicking to get to my year of birth. Because I think it's a few of y'all that's a little. I'm sure it's a few of y'all that got to do a lot of clicking to get to your year of birth. So don't try to make me feel like I'm the only one that got to go back past bell bottoms to get to my year of birth. Some of y'all click all the way back to the Studebaker. So, Elaine Parker, back to the 40s. Well, some people, I'm not saying who, you know, that I know that there are people, but some of us got to click back further than others. Click, 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 click. So, um, if you just joined us and you're wondering why I'm making that clicking sound, it's because I'm at that age where every time I stand up, something pops. Every time I stretch, something pops. Okay. That's why I'm making that clicking sound. Otherwise, I'm describing how it is to enter my year of birth. Click, click, click. So now that we have cleared up that matter, um, like for instance, who wants to admit how far back they have to click to enter their year of birth on an online form? I'm not going to be the first. As a matter of fact, I'm not. Eisenhower. Good for you, Joyce. Good for you. When I was born, I put it to you like this. When I was born, my birth certificate was written on parchment paper. My birth certificate was found right along with the Dead Sea Scrolls. That's how old I am. my birthday, my birthday is all the information on my birth certificate was written in Aramaic. That's how old I am. Thank you, BW. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Thank you. So, oh boy, my birth certificate is in the Smithsonian. Yes. No, I'm sorry. It's at the National Archives, right there, along with I guess, the United States Constitution, the Magna Carta. Oh boy, I always have fun when I talk about that. Baron, with that being said, I still ride at 1300 or uh, or a high blah blah in a motorcycle club on my job as I drive a 45-ton off-road truck. So I may be clicking, but I'm still taking. Thank, thank you so much. All right, well, okay, Rochelle Windley, but Anastasia, 1991. Oh, you're still a baby. You ain't got that much clicking to do. When I try to enter my birthday on an online form, I fall asleep in the middle of clicking back to my year of birth. I fall asleep. I have dozed off. Okay, Deja, 1995. We hear you. I'm still wearing a few outfits from 1995, but okay. Um, hieroglyphics. Oh, thank you for your honesty, Church Nelly. Thank you for your honesty. Hey, if you went to school with Ramses the Great, so be it. How did we start talking about this? Yes, the Duchess of Sussex's first book is in the Library of Congress. Is it called A Night Without Stars? Is like what is it? A Face Without Freckles is like a Night Without Stars. Is that the name of the book? And thank you, CL, for getting us back on track because let me see here. Um, oh, good for you, Jennifer. God bless. Afro Annie. Yeah, you know what? Okay. I promise you, Afro Annie will be back soon because we haven't had fun with her in a while. So I'll make sure that Afro Annie makes her way back to the party. We'll get her back soon. I had a lot of fun with Afro Annie. Afro Annie has given me many hours of joy. Not as much fun as I'm having with Lord Nappyhead lately. Lord Nappyhead is my new obsession. Just sometimes you know, how I get obsessed. Like, hello, Ivy here. You know how when I catch on to something, it's hard for me to let it go. Hello, Ivy here. And don't forget, you guys, Ivy is going to have a podcast today. So do make sure you go over to Ivy, Duchess of Success. Miss VSN has a podcast today. Oh, messy is as messy does. Yes, in case you guys are wondering, that's Lord Nappyhead. Now, is he one of the owners of the mail, or is he the sole owner, or does he have like a controlling interest? Oh, Deja, thank you. That's such a compliment. That's such a compliment. I like when people pick up some of the stuff I suggest. I'm 26 and you got me watching Keeping Up Appearances. It is, I mean, it's hilarious. The bouquet residence, the lady of the house speaking. Mrs. Bucket, that's bouquet. Oh, let's see. Yeah, she was living in that Fred Sanford living room. Wasn't that place a disaster? And had the nerves to invite people into her saloon to see said living room. Yeah, that place, it did look like Fred G. Sanford lived there. Absolutely. Well, let me see what else we got here. Nappy Head is a cousin. Older than Methuselah. That's not possible. You know what, guys? What's going to happen is you're going to think about what I said. You're going to be someplace where you're supposed to be quiet and dignified, and you're going to start clicking through that calendar trying to get to your year of birth, and you are going to laugh uncontrollably, and you'll have me to thank for it. I will cause you much embarrassment when you least expect it. And you are absolutely welcome. But I'm very fun loving like that. Sometimes I'll think about something that someone said, and I will find myself like laughing out loud at the worst possible place or time, which has gotten me in trouble here and there. But but for the most part, I'm just fun loving, and I love to have a good laugh. Um, okay, you guys ask for it, and when you ask for it, I try to make sure I deliver. There it is. There's the living room. Bum 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 ba bum 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 ba bum 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 ba. Oh boy. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. I was trying to get rid of the caption at the bottom. Um, oh, thank you so much, Dee Dee. The age discussion started when you mentioned how some of us have been following Harry since he was born. Is that how I got here? I mean, I was starting to think somebody roofied me. I'm just like, how did I start talking about that? It was like I had an out of body experience. Next thing I know, I'm talking about click, 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 click. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. That is super, super kind of you, Dee Dee. Thank you for your generosity. You know, I get punchy after a while, and I've been talking for like, what, an hour and a half, and I'm starting to disintegrate and go south. But believe me, Dee Dee, this generous contribution has definitely perked me up. Um, and thanks for reminding me how we got here. Um, Now that living room, I forgot they were watching some match or something like that, right? And anyway, Afro Annie let them release this photo of her living room. So as I swept and this photo is kind of cut off, you can't even see everything, but there's that black lacquer box. You see the lacquer box on the table. Now that box is obviously from the 80s. It's like ring ring, hello. Yeah, this is the 1980s. We'd like that black lacquer box back. Oh boy, I told you guys, don't encourage me. And then Afro Annie is sitting on an egg crate. She has some special cushion because obviously her bum has gone through quite a bit of stress over the years as she is a former Olympic equestrian. So, she has to cushion the royal bum. And speaking of royal bum, that's her husband next to her. Woo, that's a segue, isn't it? Royal Bum, that's her husband. I love the way Anne is wearing that velour vest. I mean, that is the Queen of England's daughter. You would think that she is likely wearing something like some beautiful cashmere jumper or something like that. But no, she's gone down to a little discount store and found herself a velour vest. You know, that's like the kind of vest that would have like the name of a real estate agency or a car repair shop. And there she is sitting in Fred G. Sanford's living room wearing that velour vest. And she just looks like she just come out the garden. So, you know what? God bless Princess Anne. She um she just seems like the kind of person that has a pair of knuckle dusters in her pocket, so good old brass knuckles, just in case somebody starts something. That's our Princess Anne. That's Afro Annie, and that's why we love her, because she just don't care. She don't care, and she's not pretentious like Lord Nappyhead. She's not pretentious at all. With Afro Annie, you get whatever you get. But Lord Nappyhead, he's putting on all kind of airs and graces. And if you guys don't know who Lord Nappyhead is, this is the one that the Duchess of Sussex called out with the last court case. This is the one that she called out by saying that the way that they behave is like a daily fail. As long as I live, I will never forget the Duchess of Sussex worked that into that letter, that press release. It's a daily fail, and it certainly is. Thank you, Duchess of Sussex. That gave me my life, along with the fact that she won that case against the rodents. She reminded us that the Daily Mail, the Sunday Mail, was a daily fail. That's our Duchess of Sussex. And as you guys know, the Duchess of Sussex is a writer. She writes. She writes beautiful letters. She has written the occasional op-ed. And you guys don't forget, the Duchess of Sussex hasn't written a book yet, not a, autobiography. The Duchess of Sussex has not written her biography yet. So while everybody's sitting up here wondering what Harry's going to say, you better think about what the Duchess of Sussex may have to say, because I'm sure there's plenty. And she is going to be quite deliberate in her words. And I can't wait for it. I'm here for it. Okay, let me get to a couple of more of these comments, because we're going to go for the 2-hour mark, even though I feel like I kind of owe you guys 9 minutes, but I think we'll close it out in 2 hours, 9 minutes included. Okay. Vinny Blair, hello. I haven't said hi to you all day. Here's what I was thinking. I had too much clutter, but looking at Anne's sitting room makes me feel better. I know. I think everybody feels better now. Did you ever see the podcast I made about her living room, that first podcast? That was hilarious. I spoke in depth about that room, and I had the laugh of my life. Um, in case you guys hadn't caught on, when I'm laughing when I'm making these videos, that's because it's just as funny to me. Um, I started seeing things that I didn't notice the first time, and I literally have to pause the recording so that I could get it out of my system. Um, let's see, what else did I see in that room? There's some trophies. I'm sorry this photo is cut off, but I love the fact that they took their new big screen LED television and set it right on top of their 1980s big screen television case. Did you guys notice that? Instead of buying a new piece of furniture, she just decided, why don't we just put it on top of the other one? Now, a lot of older people occasionally do that. I mean, we've all had that family member who had like the big 25-inch color television, the big console television that was in a beautiful wooden box or wooden cabinet. And when they got a new television, rather than throw out the old television, you just put the new television on top of the old one. And that's what Afro Annie has done. I'm telling you, that's a sister right there. Afro Annie is showing that she's one of us because she just don't care. She's very down to earth. Yep. Take the old TV out, but put the new TV on the old TV cabinet. Yes, Sistren, Cece, the old floor model TVs. Everybody had one. Everybody had one. The big floor model color television with the remote control. If you had the remote control, and remember, we used to have to take the aluminum foil and a wire hanger or a fork to create an aerial to improve the quality of the picture. Yep. Let's see. Untidy is not down to earth. Yes, Joanne Commonwealther. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Did I mute myself? I hope I'm still here. Let me make sure I didn't mute myself. You guys can hear me, right? Thumbs up, thumbs up. Can you guys hear me? I hope I'm still here. You know, sometimes I have done that now. Okay with the sound. It's okay with the sound. Okay, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that. So what I'm going to do soon, I need to move my computer closer to the internet, and I'm going to have to plug it in to make sure I get good reception, because when you're doing the live chat, it eats up a lot of juice, and what do you call it? The internet is working really hard. So I think in the future I'm going to plug in the computer to the internet, Ethernet or whatever. Okay. Let me see. I'm looking for some more comments here. I thank you for the thumbs up, by the way, everyone. I appreciate that. And let's send some hearts out for everybody who joined us today. We'll send out some hearts. Let me see if I can find my heart. Okay, I didn't really want to use this one, but this is the easiest one to find. But let's have some hearts for how much we love one another. So, okay, let me see. What time is it? We got about 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Any more questions for the time we have allotted? 15 minutes. Questions. Anything? Anything about the cash for honors? And you know, the only reason why I talked about cash for honors is because I was trying to work that picture of that handsome devil in front of that house. I mean, look at him. He's cute. So cute. I was trying to work this picture in, so that's why I mentioned cash for honors. Other than that, I really didn't want to talk about that today. But it gave me a chance to work that in. So, okay. Well, that being said, let me see. Am I tackling Thomas Markle this week? Has he been yapping his mouth again? Because I haven't seen or heard from him at all, so I wasn't sure. I kind of thought he would kind of wash up like a piece of driftwood, but I haven't. But yeah, I mean, we can definitely have something on him this week. You know, I have a lot of fun talking about TM, Thomas Markle, TMZ. No connection, I'm sure. Let's see. Please, he's plotting. Of course he is. Night and day and night. Baron, what do you think of the Shambridge Christmas pic? Yeah, someone said they had probably snuck off to Morocco, but of course they're pretending like they don't know when that photo was taken. Um, it looks nothing like a Christmas photo. I mean, it looks very aristocratic Christmas and not like real people, I'm afraid to say. It's an unusual Christmas photo. And as for Charlie and his emotional support, Camilla, Queen of the Desert, their Christmas pic is very sweet, where he's helping her with a mask. Um, I won't say why he's helping her cover up her face, but I only know that he did. Do you think is KP driving the cash for honors thing? It seems odd that it brown it, oh, I'm sorry, blown up at the same time. Lord of stories about Caden Williams stepping up. Excuse me. KP possibly, but the tabloid and that Carol Middleton, as I've said for quite some time, I have no proof. This is all alleged, but I just think that the Middletons are not interested in waiting until Charles spends 10 or possibly 20 years from now going to his glory, because Carol is 66 years old. And so if she's 66 now, in 20 years, 86, 30 years, 96, do you think that she will have the strength to push that air hostess trolley up and down the aisles of Westminster Abbey, selling drinks to to people at Westminster Abbey on the coronation day? I just don't think because she has to recoup her losses from the pandemic and from all the money that they spent to get Mumbles into Kensington Palace in the first place. So Carol Middleton may not have the strength to push that air hostess trolley up and down the aisles of Westminster Abbey, dispensing cocktails along the way. And plus, something about her tells me that when she asks you if you want something to drink and you say, okay, I'll have Coke. If you ask for a Coke, and I am speaking of Coca-Cola, if you ask for Coca-Cola, I just don't trust her to give me the can. She just seems like the type of person that will not give you the entire can of beverage. She will only give you a cup, and then, of course, somebody else gets to have the other portion. So I just don't trust that Carol Middleton. She did it, that Carol Middleton. I just don't trust her. So that's a good question, Duchess of Success. Thank you very much for that. But she don't want Woo! That picture snuck up on me. She don't want to have to wait for the mean girl. Thank you, Adrian Burrow. She don't want to have to wait for the mean girl to go through her coronation in 30 years. She'll be 96 years old. Have you ever seen a 96-year-old air hostess? It's not pretty. So, Carol Middleton, she don't want to have to wait until she's 96 years old for her daughter to be coronated as the queen consort. So, plus, I told you there's going to be some kind of plot for people to call her the Queen Mother. And I know that's not a title that she's entitled to, but trust me when I say this, she is going to come across as this matriarch of the nation. They are going to, up her image so that she can be called the Queen Mother. I mean, look at what she's done so far. You have to give her credit for everything that she has achieved up until this point. So she's come a long way from the air hostess. Yeah, she's come a long way. She is now at Westminster Abbey on at some Christmas thing where her daughter refused to speak. You guys know that when they had that Christmas party, hold on a second. Oh, I'm laughing so much my nose is running. When they had that Christmas event, which had absolutely no bystanders on the street trying to see what's going on, people just going about their business. Um, when I forget what I was going to say. Oh yeah, when they had this event, Mumbles didn't even speak, and I hope she didn't sing, but she didn't even speak at this event. So there you have it. So that was kind of a long rant. Thank you so much for that, Duchess of Success, because thank you so much for that, because I needed to get that out my system because there is something weird going on with that family. Um, and just like with the earshot or earthworm, whatever this was called, if you look in the background, this photo is clearer than the other. You can see there's nobody back there except for this one family that just happened along the way. They were headed to Mark and Spencer's to get some snacks, and they saw the barrier and they thought to themselves, gee, there's something going on. Let's take a closer look. And next thing you know, Mumbelina hops out of one side of the car and, with them jazz hands. And then on the other side, you have a very stoic looking Prince William who came in his disguise for the event. So, aside from that, they don't draw much of a crowd. Nobody really cares where they're going or what they're doing. And they really try to brand this thing as some, big event. Oh, by the way, you guys, it's 2 well, yeah, it's almost 2 o'clock. Oh, it is 2 o'clock. What am I trying to say? Sussex Global UK is on. So we're gonna have to make sure we go over and support. Um, Hello, Ivy here. And yeah, let's go over there and flood her live chat. So yeah. I see that Ivy's on. Okay, so I'm gonna close this out. We'll pick up the messy later. Believe me, I'll do another live soon. Okay, so it's Ivy time. Let's go flood her live chat. Bye, everybody. Love you so much. Thank you for all the generous contributions and the comments. And happy holidays. And don't forget to pray for the people from the tornadoes. Okay, thank you. Bye, everybody.